Honorable Ms. Salework Zoedi, President of the Federal Republic of Ethiopia, Your Excellency, Honorable Mr. Melaku Alibel, Minister of Industry, Federal Republic of Ethiopia, Dr. Clever Gatete, Executive Secretary, United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, Professor Kevin Uramo, Chief Economist and Vice President, Africa Development Bank, Ms. Fatu Haidera, Deputy Director General, Managing Director of the Directorate of Global Partnerships and External Relations, and Director General Special Representative for Africa, United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO. Esteemed leaders joining us remotely, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Ahuna Ezekwawa, Assistant Secretary General and Director of the Bureau for Africa, UNDP, would have loved to be here herself, but due to other pressing demands in New York requiring her presence, she's not able to be with us today, but she sends her greetings. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia for hosting the 2023 African Economic Conference. Thank you for your leadership. UNDP takes pride in being an integral part of the African Economic Conference. Since 2006, we have collaborated closely with the African Development Bank and the Economic Commission for Africa to bring the best of Africa's brains and thought leaders to identify solutions to accelerate the continent's socioeconomic transformation. We believe that there is power in homegrown solutions, and the AEC, as we call it, is a great way to harvest these ideas, but even more, to put them into action as part of our collective interventions. The theme of this conference couldn't be more timely. The imperative and centrality of Africa's industrial development has been brought front and center in recent years because of the lessons from the shocks that have troubled the globe. From the COVID-19 pandemic to the war in Ukraine, through to the climate emergency, it has become an existential necessity for Africa to industrialize. A lot has been done in setting the frameworks that can foster Africa's industrialization. Take the African Continental Free Trade, for example. We now know that thanks to this historic agreement, Africans can invest in industrial ventures with the certainty that there is supportive trade policy that will not discriminate against these products in both tariffs and non-tariff barriers. We also know that this will play a critical role in raising incomes and also to structurally transform the continent. There will also be a dividend in sustainable peace and security, especially in conflict-prone regions. Now is the time to invest in Africa's value addition because it is the only way that Africa will change the status quo, investing in these abundant raw materials and commodities that have transformed the economies of several advanced economies. And we must ensure that this value addition is also based on the regional value chains approach. This is because we need to ensure that Africa's industrialization brings along all the people, young and old alike, as well as women and men. We must also ensure that we keep all of the small and medium-sized enterprises in mind so that it is truly a democratizing process. UNDP is supporting African countries thanks to our presence in all African countries, working with governments to develop and implement policies for structural economic transformation. With specific regard to intra-African trade, we are invested working with sister agencies and the UN country teams in ensuring that the UN Sustainable Development Cooperation frameworks and our own UNDP country program documents identify trade, investment, and industry as critical levers for economic growth and sustainable development. Through evidence-based policies, UNDP continues to work closely with its partners to set the tone for the global discourse on industrialization in Africa. The 2021 Features Report, jointly co-published with the AFCFTA Secretariat, highlights the critical importance of maximizing Made in Africa revolution. The sectors identified as emerging include automobiles, lithium-ion batteries, leather and leather products, clothing and textiles, soya, cocoa, pharmaceuticals, vaccines, mobile financial services, and entertainment services. This revolution will need to be underpinned by investment ventures in goods and services that promote value addition and beneficiation. This information also helps businesses to know and make informed decisions on where to invest to harness the AFCFTA opportunities, thanks to the UNDP Africa Business Map and the SDG Investor Maps. UNDP is also proud to announce the Africa Buyers Program, launched on 9th November 2023, together with Afrexim Bank at the Intra-African Trade Fair. This platform offers tailored market information to identify where producers can source their inputs from within Africa, so that the industrial drive we all want to see benefits as many Africans enterprises as possible. And for us at UNDP, we want to ensure that such investments also go in the direction of accelerating the SDGs, which is why we are making available the intelligence in our SDG investor maps, so that choice can go into those areas that are better positioned to accelerate prosperity for all. Excellencies, driving Africa's industrial revolution requires new ideas. This is why inclusion of young African researchers at this conference is a testament to our commitment to harnessing their intellectual power. Youth are the industrialists of today and tomorrow, and we want to ensure that they lead the way in identifying pathways forward. Let me close off by sharing 4 ideas that we believe will give you a push to Africa's industrial development. First, on affordable and timely financial resources and investments, we need to foster mutually beneficial public-private partnerships that are committed to making in Africa. African governments have already done an important job in creating incentives for investment attraction. Now we need to ensure that the investors produce in Africa, but also that we close the tap on the hemorrhage that the continent faces from illicit financial flows, which go to the tune of up to $90 billion annually, money that should stay and deliver development in Africa. Second, financial inclusion is pivotal. The path to industrialization gains momentum when small and medium-sized enterprises and informal traders are equipped with the tools and support to create products and services needed within the AFCFTA framework. This is why UNDP and partners launched the AFCFTA initiative in April 2023 at the inaugural AFCFTA Business Forum. We are working collectively to galvanize momentum to strengthen export readiness for women-led enterprises. We need more of such initiatives. And third, it is imperative that we revitalize intra-African trade and production capacities by addressing both tariff and non-tariff barriers. We must break free from the reliance on the exportation of raw commodities and explore high-tech industries to diversify our economies. Finally, we will not succeed without sustained political commitment to industrial development. Now that the legal frameworks are in place, it is time to step up support for industrial action and bring the weight of political support to propel industrial action in Africa. I am optimistic about Africa and about its prospects. There is no better time to invest in Africa than now. I encourage Africa's businesses to make the necessary investments, governments to create the enabling environments, and international institutions must be open to listening to the voices of private sector and better understand how we can sharpen our efforts of support. I am looking forward to the deliberations, and I do hope that we leave this conference with a blueprint to take the continent on a successful path to industrial development. I thank you for your kind attention.